Everyone, so this week we are 9 weeks. What do I have to say about it? I suppose it's been a little bit kind of quiet at the moment. We're, I suppose both, I think so anyway, are kind of both at a point now where, like I'm looking forward to telling, our family and all that sort of stuff and being able to share it with everyone. I suppose one of the biggest things for us, and I suppose, I don't know if maybe everyone feels like it, when they know that they're pregnant early on, or whether it's because we tried quite hard for it too, and so, but yeah, for us we decided that we're going to wait until we're after that 12-week mark, when miscarriage goes down quite a lot and that sort of thing, like the risk of it, sorry. But yeah, so every week that we kind of get further along, like now I'm saying to Brendan, it's, it's 9.3 or something weeks at the moment. So we've only got to cut like 2.5 weeks to go and then we're there. Yeah. But yeah, so I kind of am getting more to a point where I'm like, okay, like baby's staying, we're, like it's, we're starting to enjoy it a little bit more. Both of us are kind of connecting on that level even more and more every week too, which I'm really enjoying as well. But yeah, so in terms of how I have been the last week, probably the last 3 or 4 days, I haven't had I haven't been sick, so I've still had like morning sickness and stuff like that, but just kind of like a dull feeling of, like, I don't know, sick most of the day. But I just did a little bit of a workout then this is the first workout I've done in a week, because I hadn't been feeling very well, but now it was time to get back in, so I did 30 minutes just of, I'm starting to slowly push myself a little bit harder, but trying to have big rests in between to bring that heart rate back down, and just keep baby safe as well, especially in these first 12 weeks, because a lot's going on with it. But yeah, while I was doing that workout, I was thinking, because Brendan and I have a friend's wedding in December, and we've both been asked to be on the bridal party, like, so we're both I suppose getting ready for that in some senses as well. But this morning when I got up and I was looking at myself in the mirror before I got dressed, like, because of the background that we have and because we're so fixated on our composition and how we look and that sort of thing, like, it's been the last thing from my mind since we found out that I was pregnant, especially since I started feeling real sick. I've just been eating what I have been able to eat and trying to balance as much as possible, like having some fats with the carbs and that sort of thing, so I'm not getting blood sugar spikes and feeling up and down all day. But now, because I've been feeling a little bit better the last couple of days and being back in the gym, I suppose too, like, I want to try and manage as much as possible the weight that I do put on, because I want to look nice for the wedding as well, I don't mean that in terms of it being unhealthy by any means, like I definitely won't make sure, we'll make sure that we're looking after the baby and that sort of stuff, but just the food choices and stuff that I've been making lately, I get late at night, and I used to have a bed meal like a lot of you will if you're on our plans, but it's too late for me at the moment. Like, I'm just starting to feel real sick by there, so I've just been having a couple of pieces of like almond chocolate, so not very good sources at all. Last night I actually changed over to having a bit of a Justine's cookie, but the point is, I want to start getting to a point now where I can manage it. I need to start preparing, making salads and stuff like that, because that's what I'm feeling like more so now than the carbs, which is what I was really craving, and that's all I felt like I could eat when I was feeling sick. But now, I'm looking for something a little bit more nutritious, and also at a point where I want to be able to help the baby as much as possible too and be healthy. And before we actually got pregnant, I said to Brendan that as soon as we found out that that all the sugar was going, I wanted it to have as much nutrients going in as possible. But as I found, and maybe some of you out there as well may have found, is that the sugar or the carbohydrates are the easiest thing to get down. When you're feeling sick, it brings those blood sugars back up really quick, so it makes you feel a little bit better, and it is a quick fix. My go-tos for the first month or so, first month would have been the chocolate milk in the morning, which I still am having a sip of first thing when I wake up, because that is the most common time for women to get that, like the rush of morning sickness is when you come from laying in bed all night to sitting up, and also you haven't eaten all night as well, so blood sugars are quite low. But yeah, so I'm still doing a little bit of that in the morning, but just a better balanced breakfast. So I've been having like a decaf power coffee, so with coconut oil and butter on it, and some coconut oil and cream, sorry. And then some of the other days, like this morning, because I was going to come and do a workout, I had some oats with a little bit of cream in it, so I'm still balancing out, because otherwise those carbohydrates are going to spike me and make me feel real sick again when they come down. But then I had like a couple of strawberries and quarter of a cup of blueberries with it, with a bit of yogurt, and it was perfect. But so, although it doesn't sound like what I would normally eat, it's definitely way better than what I was eating, you know, something like cheese and crackers and stuff like that to make me feel a little bit better. But yeah, anyway, that's every day as it comes. The one thing that I did want to kind of briefly talk about, last week I talked to you guys about conception tools and that sort of thing, and what we found the most useful. So if you haven't watched that, go and have a look, because it is, when you get further and further down this journey, for a lot of people it doesn't happen straight away anymore. Sometimes for some people it's a matter of months. For us it was about 9. So it's individual, definitely. But the further you get along, the more you can start to obsess over it, and females are really good at it, you know. For me, having a family was something that I didn't think I had to have in order to have my life fulfilled. It was just something that I really wanted to achieve with Brendan in the end, and it was something that we both wanted to do together. But we have had the conversation several times about if we couldn't make it happen, or how long we would actually try before we would, you know, put a bit of a cap on it for a while, because it does get to a point where it takes over a lot of everything else that's going on, and it's exhausting. And for me, you know, like, I love Brendan, and that's the reason that I'm wanting to do it. So I don't know, there's nothing missing for us. That, I suppose that's the best way to put it. But so for us, there wasn't that added pressure of, oh, well, if we can't make it happen, oh my god, the whole world's going to die, or whatever, you know. But for some women, it really is like that. Some women feel like their only purpose on this earth is to be a mother and look after children, all that sort of thing. But so for those sorts of people, it can be even harder again, because, yeah, I suppose it puts a bit more pressure on the situation. But yeah, so they're good tools of how to maybe not stress about it as much as possible. There's always going to be some stress involved, but it's nice to be able to manage it as much as possible as well. But yeah, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit of a flow on from that, I suppose, was each month for us. Basically, I was doing lots of research myself, and obviously listening to clients and that I'm helping get pregnant as well, and their feedback on how they first knew they were pregnant. So a lot of people talk about like before they even have missed their period or do a pregnancy test, before that will even show up that they are pregnant, it'll be like breast swelling and soreness, your nipples, areolas getting darker or nipples getting bigger, veins through your breasts. What else is there? There's the cervix, which I talked a little bit about last time. That should go really soft and feel like it's closed. Again, not a very good method if you're not used to like dealing with that, because if you don't know what it feels like throughout the whole month, then it can be quite an unreliable tool. But anyway, there's lots of different things that women say that they have, you know, some even say that, oh, I felt it straight away, or I was sick immediately after conception, and blah, blah, blah. So lots of different opinions. Before I say my opinion on it, it is only my opinion and my experience, okay? So I can't say for anybody else. But for myself specifically, those things were not good for me to look at, because breast tenderness and soreness and that sort of stuff, you get that every month most of the time anyway. Most women do. I was getting the same tenderness and changes in my breast that I normally get when I'm coming into getting my period. So the symptoms for that are very similar. Again, with the cervix is very similar as well. I didn't check it the last month when we actually did end up getting pregnant, but once I found out that that we were, I probably like maybe a week after, I checked my cervix, and it was really high and soft, but it definitely didn't feel like it was closed, or what I would have thought was closed. So in terms of knowing, some women feel like they do, and that's cool. Like I wasn't that person, but for others like myself, the first notice that you do have is that your period not coming, and then, you know, after, like, we waited about 4 or 5 days, I think it was, but then doing a pregnancy test and it being confirmed. So for those of you that don't feel the symptoms straight away, don't worry about it, because you will feel something at some point. We've got probably out of the 5 women that I've got pregnant at the moment, only one of them had no morning sickness. Everyone else has had it. One lady who was actually IVF treatment, she has it morning to night, and it hasn't gotten any better at all, and she's 11 weeks along now. So It depends on the person. Myself, obviously, I'm getting better now, so that's really good, and I'm at 9 weeks. A lady I've got at 7 weeks at the moment, she's feeling terrible. I just found out about her yesterday, which is really exciting too, so obviously no one knows about us yet either, so I'm excited to tell everyone about that, and be able to share that with the clients that are pregnant at the moment, and ride the journey with them too, I suppose. But yeah, so that's all I really wanted to say about that anyway, is just there's not really anything that you can do, and I know that sucks and no one's going to like me saying that, especially anyone that's trying and has been trying for a long time, but it's the reality of how my situation went. So some women feel it, some women don't, and for myself, checking all these things, it ended up driving me insane, and Brendan as well. So I suppose do what you feel you need to do, and that was what I did every single month. Like I did the last month, I ended up doing no exercise at all. Was that the reason why I got pregnant? I don't know, it was just timing, coincidence, maybe. But, it kind of just how everything aligned, and I don't know if or when we do it again, I don't know if I will replicate that by the training again. I probably won't, I don't know. But yeah, I suppose you just have to do whatever you feel and, you and your partner feel is appropriate, and whatever works for you as well. Cool, so that's all from me for now. So next week will be 10 weeks, and that will be coming into us doing our first lot of bloods for the Down syndrome testing, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But yeah, cool. Alright, see ya.